take a moment to settle yourselves, and wherever you are, just find a comfortable seat and gently close your eyes. Once you have found your seat, take a moment and actually think about what it is to be comfortable in a seat. Where is your body being supported? Feel your sits bones against your cushion or your chair or the floor. Feel the palms of your hands resting on your thighs. If you're in a chair or on a sofa, you can feel the small of your back. Notice that you're being supported without having to actually do anything, and allow gravity to do its work. And begin to gently turn your attention to the breath, not breathing in any particular way, just noticing that you're inhaling and exhaling, again, as you always are all day long, without actually having to try or force anything. And so we begin the metta meditation with 4 phrases, 4 blessings, 4 wishes that we're going to repeat several times in several different ways. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be strong. May I live with ease. And again, may I be safe. Feel that sense of safety in your body. May I be happy. May I be strong. May I live with ease. And now we invite into our hearts someone we love. And we offer these blessings, these wishes, to that beloved person. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be strong. May you live with ease. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be strong. May you live with ease. And now we invite into our hearts a familiar stranger, someone we might pass by every day and perhaps not know anything about them or not even know their name, but they are part of our life, the fabric of our lives, nonetheless. So to the familiar stranger, may you be safe. May you be happy. May you be strong. May you live with ease. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be strong. May you live with ease. And now, with the same spirit of equanimity, we invite into our hearts someone with whom we have difficulty. And we offer these blessings, these wishes, to that difficult person. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be strong. May you live with ease. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be strong. May you live with ease. And finally, we invite all living beings into our heart. And we offer these blessings, these wishes to all living beings near and far. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be strong. May all beings live with ease. Safe. Happy. Strong. Live with ease. And whenever you're ready, you can slowly come back to the room, open your eyes. A couple of things about that meditation. It was on warp speed. When you do this, as I hope you will, again and again, you can really sink into the metta practice. It can take 10 minutes, 20 minutes, it can take hours. I wanted to give you a little bit of a taste of it. And a couple of other things, just notes. Sometimes people who don't have a prayer practice get sort of confused and are wondering whether this is prayer. I know I did when I first started practicing, and it doesn't have to be metaphysical. It's really the expression of a wish, and I think we all wish. We all wish for ourselves. We all wish for others. I also want to say one thing about the word happy, because that also trips people up. By happy, we don't mean, giddy with joy. We mean, can we be content with what is right now?
I came to my activism when I realized that the world around me won't change until I do. So I started to work on myself, work on what I didn't like, refine what I did like, and I think the best way to become the person that can go for it is to just believe that you're worth trying. I am Chidera. I'm popularly known online as the Slumflower. I am the author of How to Get Over a Boy, and I am also an activist. I think it's really important to learn to nurture and invest in yourself, because in this life, you are your own keeper. As much as we have guardians around us, parents, grandparents if you're lucky, uncles, aunties, rich aunties if you're extra lucky, it's still your only life, and you are going to wake up and one day die in this body. And that's not to make this morbid or grim, but it's to remind you of the urgency of truly investing in yourself. And it doesn't have to cost money to invest in yourself. I like to think an investment in yourself includes spending time with yourself and time on yourself as well, without feeling guilty. I use that time to geek out on astrology. I use that time to dream and aspire and even observe and learn and just study the game that I'm in. And all these things are rewarding. It might not be immediately rewarding, but there's something about trusting that later down the line, it will pay off. When it comes to nurturing yourself, this is more of a delicate process because it's not always fun and sparkly and like all self-care bubbles. Often it's really taking a look at yourself and asking yourself, am I remaining accountable? Am I trustworthy? Did I behave in a way that honors my inner child? And if these answers aren't a yes, then it's time to dive deeper and ask yourself, where is the fear coming from in advocating for myself? And what can I do to tackle that fear? I really wish that the process of nurturing and investing in yourself was a one-time only event that you never have to revisit. But, spoiler alert, it doesn't end. It's a continuous process, and it's not any easier anytime you have to do it again. In fact, I strongly believe that as we all get older and as we move through different channels of life, there are just going to be new experiences that we have to learn from. But what's exciting about this is that if you take on the perspective of being a student, then it kind of means that anything that happens to you, whether the outcome is what you wanted, or whether it's something that pushes you into a direction that involves you having to learn a lot, it's still valuable, because that information, you can see it as data that you're collecting, and that data is useful when it comes to understanding other people. And you need to see yourself in a way as a battery. Now, if you're handing out your supply to all these people who aren't replenishing you back, you're going to be drained and you're going to be bitter. So do you want to be bitter, or do you want to be better? I think advocating for yourself is often something we talk about in the realm of work and career, but there are so many other areas in life where we have to advocate for ourselves. Because for me, I've had to learn to accept more, ask for more. When it comes to money, ask for more than you thought that you would have actually asked for. And 8 times out of 10, you'll find that you actually get that money, because people believe you when you believe yourself. And it all still comes back down to believing yourself. You have to be the proof first.
For our first exercise, we are going to be journaling about our current mood, and this can be small day-to-day reflections. I feel like a lot of times we just kind of go throughout our day without actually asking ourselves, how am I feeling? And this is the time to write it down. Even if you don't necessarily feel a particular way, you can write that down in your journal. I have a couple different questions or prompts that might help you guys out when you're journaling. You can even write down those actual questions and answer them in your journal. The first is obviously, how do you feel today? And then the second one is, what is something you did today that made you feel accomplished, a small accomplishment, something that made you feel happy, and then also something that you've been enjoying recently, whether it be a particular feeling, a TV show, a song, a movie. You can use those journaling prompts when you're creating your spread, or feel free to answer other questions or just write out your thoughts as well. As you can see, I have my 2 kind of main sections here, and then now I'm going to fill it in with my body text, which is me journaling and writing my thoughts. And as you're going along, if you want to throw in any washi tapes or stamps or more photos, feel free to do that. I always find journaling, especially when it's about my current mood or how I'm feeling, very meditative and therapeutic, just because it's something that I can turn off my brain for and just think and write down exactly what is going on. It's also satisfying to see where things end up on your journal spread, especially when you don't have a specific idea in mind for the spread. Like, I didn't know that it would turn out this way, but I'm actually really enjoying where it's heading, and I like the color palette we have going on, but I didn't think that this was where I was gonna go from the beginning. I don't think everything you put into your journal spread needs to have a specific purpose or needs to be functional. As you can see, I have many things in here that is not necessarily functional, like I don't need to have doodles or I don't need to have washi tapes, but it made me happy, and in the moment it felt like I wanted to do that, so I was kind of following along with my thought process and my creative process in that way, and it was therapeutic for me. Okay, so I'm done my journal spread. As you can see, what I like about the way it turned out is that there is that, it does look nice and there is that decorative element, but I also feel like I left a lot of space for the actual reflections. Like on this side, there's a lot more text, and I spoke about how I felt this week. And then over here, I wrote about what I've been doing, songs I've been listening to. And then as I was talking about while we were creating the spread, I kind of allowed myself to take the spread in whatever direction it was going in. So initially I didn't think I would have like a playlist or all of these doodles, but it felt right in the moment. So that's what we ended up with.
For this exercise, we're going to focus on our fears. You can illustrate your phobias, your concern for the world, your fear for the future. Anything that really comes to mind is applicable here. My fear is being misunderstood. This exercise could be hard or painful for some of you, but once you start drawing and processing your fears, I think you'll realize that you're not alone in this. I think what is scary about being misunderstood is that you're not controlling the narrative. You're not controlling how people see you. This exercise helps me to let go of some of these things. Let go of the things I can't control. I think that if you are stuck, if you don't know where to start or you don't know how vulnerable you want to be at first, just start with something light. It can be your fear of cats. And then over time, you might decide that you want to dig a bit deeper or become a little more conceptual with it all. Guys, just go with it. Sometimes something like this is gonna happen and it's beyond your control. It's beyond the point of the exercise. So I'm gonna embrace it. All right, I think I'm done.
I'm just gonna try and think of what I've been curious about lately, if I have any questions rattling around. One that I've had for a while is like, what's the deal with castles? Like, how did castles start? And I'm also would be interested in drawing a castle. And so, you know, that makes this one very attractive. How truck way stations work, I'm like now that I'm not driving by them, I'm not as curious, and I don't really care to draw a truck today. So maybe not that one. And this one, are there any flowers that can make it through an AZ summer? I'm also curious about this one, and I love drawing flowers, so that's a good contender. I think the castles win. I want to know what their deal is, because they're so big and pretty and weird and scary and spooky. So let's do it. I'm gonna do a little bit of research and let's do it. Okay, so I've got at least some light, medium, and dark colors, and that's enough to get started. And again, I'm not trying to draw a perfect castle. I'm trying to enjoy myself while I draw this castle, this image that I saw that really felt striking to me. Like that's all that's happening here. I'm enjoying where my curiosity led me, and I hope that you will be enjoying where your curiosity has led you. Kind of felt scared, even though I really loved this image. I was like, ooh, I don't know if I can draw that. It's a lot of perspective, and
but you saw that I just took it one kind of shape and section at a time, and now I've got the whole composition blocked in. I'm just gonna fill in the space with some of the stuff I learned. Cool. Well, curiosity took me to castles today, and I can't wait to see where yours takes you.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Van Ness. I'm on set with Skillshare, taking a break from filming my class about self-care. You know, because sometimes you just need to take a break to sip and share. Yes. I'm here to answer all of your questions about self-care. Now let's dive in and see what we have here. What's a morning habit that fuels me each day? Literally not getting coffee, but another is some sort of meditation practice. It really helps me stay connected, stay happy, and keep like my internal frown turned upside down. What's the most misunderstood thing about self-care? I think that it only fits into like a particular idea of like a spa moment or like a physical moment. Really, self-care has so many different forms that it can take in your life, whether it's physical, spiritual, emotional, mental. It's more multifaceted. Okay. Ooh. Welcome to your ideal dinner party. You can invite 4 guests, living or dead. Princess Diana, first and foremost. Whitney Houston, obviously. Ooh, Cleopatra, what was Egypt like? And maybe like Amelia Earhart. What happened? Oh my God, we're almost there. Tips for staying curious. How do you find new hobbies and interests? How do I do it? I just always get like hit with something, and sometimes they stick longer than others. Like figure skating, I got interested in it in like 1991. It's never gone away. Whereas like stamps, I got really interested and that kind of went away. I would say though, if the whim strikes you, go with it. If the fleeting moment of curiosity comes, run with it. Give yourself the chance to be interested in the first place. Was that cute?
That was very cute.
Oh, my ankle fell asleep. Okay, last question. What's one thing that's bringing you joy today? I think one thing that really does bring me joy like every day is my animals. They're all just like such little babies and I love them so much. I really want to have like 17 million cats, but I want them to be well cared for and they can all be like friends and then like go find homes. Oh, I love cats. Thank you so much for your questions. Now, my bowl is empty, but that was just a sip of my class on Skillshare. In it, I give you my full approach to self-care.
I'm Dylan Mierzwinski, an illustrator living in Phoenix, Arizona. I have my dream job, making artwork for everyday products, but having art as my job means I need to be intentional about making time to create just for me, without the pressure of it, becoming something. I think a low-pressure creative practice can be helpful for any person's mental health. I started working from illustrated journal prompts to help restore some calm in my practice. And not only did I find that, it ultimately refilled my well for all of the other things in my life too. I want you to have that, as well as the totally unique time capsule you'll be creating of the little and meaningful things that make up this particular time in our life. The supplies are basic, you'll probably have most of them on hand, the prompts are open, and the time spent working on them will be just what your tired, anxious, and very creative heart and brain need. I would love you to make a list of all of the products that you use for your whole routine. I think everyone has at least a few specific potions they rely on and trust, whether it's toothpaste or a vintage razor, your favorite perfume, anything. Make a list of what those are for you, find reference images if you need to, or just gather them from around your house, and let's get them on the page. For my Toiletry bag favorites, I picked out all of the products that I just get a lot of joy using, like they just bring me that little spark. I've chosen 2 colors. I have a light pink and a light purple. I think those will go well with these beauty products. I think since everything will fit into a rectangle that I'm good to go ahead and draw the prompt right at the top. Okay, so I'm just gonna start right in this top corner because this Clinique blush kind of anchors. It's the one thing that's like rectangular and solid in shape. And so you can see I kind of have a half and half thing going on. So I'm gonna go to like the halfway mark on my page. And I photographed the blush closed, but I'm going to draw it as if it's open. So that will represent that space. And then I'm just gonna quick make a spot for where the actual makeup would be. And then there's a little brush in there. Moving down in this column, I've got these 2 perfume bottles. And I'll start with this one that's on the inside so that I can keep that all lined up. And since this one is a glass bottle, I'm actually going to not draw the whole form. I'm more just going to draw kind of the essence of the bottle. It doesn't show up in the picture, but this brand of brush, I don't know if it's Morph or Morphe, but I'm just gonna, just so this isn't just one big long section of black, I want to break it up with some of this color. So you can see by taking advantage of using the black almost as a third color as a way to add contrast is a nice way to weigh down these really light and airy colors. And that just kind of helps balance out the composition a little bit more with this mascara and this brush right here. When I took the picture, I thought that my brow fill and my concealer would fit next to each other like this. But I'm kind of thinking now I'd rather have them stacked on top of each other and then I can just do notes right here. So I'm gonna change that. All right, I have all of my main products, everything placed on here. And now I'm gonna go in and finish adding details. You can see I started to do that on some of them as I was drawing, but now I wanna go through and make sure I add them to all the places. This blush is one of those areas where I can take advantage of adding some texture for some interest without distracting away from what it is. Okay, I've added all of my details in, and now I'm ready to go in and fill in these weird, any awkward spaces or anything that needs to be filled in with captions. All right, and with all of that packaging and branding and captions, Toiletry Bag Favorites is complete.